One of my favorite questions to ask clients or people who have been referred to us or someone new I'm sitting down with for the first time, I love to ask a very simple question. What job are you hiring your money to do? The financial services industry, your average investment guy or investment gal, all the attention is put on how do we grow your portfolio? How do we get your $200,000 to grow to $400,000? How do we get your $400,000 to grow to your $800,000? That's great. We want you to grow your money, but it's amazing to me as I've done this for years and years, and I've been fortunate enough to sit down with thousands of people. And I've asked them, what do you want your money to do? And they go, well, I want it to grow. I say, great. For what? And they go, well, so it gets bigger. Perfect. To do what with? How to spend it? On what? And we try to dig deeper and deeper and deeper because money is a tool. And the goal of a successful retirement is to take that tool and use it for its most powerful and meaningful purpose, which is empowering you to have a retirement worthy of 20 or 30 or 40 years of sacrifice, dedication, and hard work. Your money is a tool. What job are we hiring it to do? And what's been so interesting for me to see over the years as we've sat down with families is we spend so much time thinking about growing our money, we don't actually stop to pause and think about what we want it to do for us. I'll share a story. I had an opportunity earlier this week to sit down with a wonderful couple who was referred to us. And they were in a great position financially. Their portfolio well over $5 million. And I asked them, I said, what do you want your money to do for you? For your kids, for your grandkids, for your church, for your charities, for the things that are important to you and bring passion and joy to your life. And this gentleman, brilliant individual, background in finance, he stopped and he looked at me and goes, you know what, Nico, I've never thought about that. And I said, it's okay. Most people haven't. What we've trained people to think about, and when I say we, I don't mean Momentum Wealth, I'm meaning the industry. What we've trained the industry, what the industry has trained clients to think about is how do we grow your portfolio? How do we make it bigger? How do we get your investments to double or triple? Or what are our mutual funds doing compared to your mutual funds? Or what's our investment portfolio compared to yours? Guys, that's all well and good. We have to grow money and accumulate wealth in order to have a funded retirement. But the purpose of all that lies in what you want it to do for you. What I have become crystal clear on through thousands of conversations with families is no one sacrificed for 30 or 40 years to watch a number grow bigger and bigger on paper. They did that because at some point they wanted to stop working, take those dollars, and empower themselves to enjoy the retirement that they've earned. But if we're not crystal clear on what that purpose is, it becomes really, really hard to fulfill it all the way. And what's interesting is I read a statistic once that said how people with concrete goals are more likely to accomplish them, meaning that if a senior or retiree said, hey, I want to grow my portfolio because when I retire once a year, I want to be able to afford to rent a cabin at Bear Lake where I could host a family reunion. And it's funded by grandpa, right? All the kids, all the grandkids come, they come for 3 nights, whatever it is. But the more specific the goal, the higher the odds that they would accomplish it versus the person who says, I want to grow my money so I can use it in retirement and travel. And what's interesting is it's not the fault of the consumer to not know what that purpose is because no one has made them pause and think about it. No one has said, hey, let's think this through. Let's understand what matters most. And you know what I've heard over and over again? Here's what matters most. Not being a burden to my kids. Being able to do the things I want with the people I care about. Leaving a legacy of values to my family, not just money, but values. Leaving memories with my kids and grandkids, not just money. And knowing that I'm gonna be okay. I could take hundreds of conversations and boil them down to probably 3 or 4 key things. And it always revolves around independence. I wanna make sure I'm okay. Financial stability and legacy. Now, legacy is different for everyone. It might mean leaving money. It might mean leaving memories. But our money is a tool to empower us to accomplish those key things. And I think that any financial firm, any investment guy or woman who is just trying to grow the portfolio with no conversation about the purpose behind it is missing the point. The goal is to grow. We need to grow our money. I get it. I really do. But the more important goal is to grow the money to empower you to do the things you want. And what's really interesting to me is not just trying to drag out of people the purpose behind their money, but then getting you guys to spend it. If you would have asked me 16 years ago what the hardest part about financial planning is, I probably would have had some sort of textbook answer about taxes or portfolio optimization across asset categories or who knows what, right? Your very textbook answers. And after sitting down with thousands of families over the last 16 years, the hardest part about true financial planning, not investment management, true financial planning, is getting people to feel confident in spending their money and then doing it. And it makes perfect sense. Like, let's break this down for a second. It actually makes perfect sense. If you were someone who saved and accumulated wealth from the years of, let's say, in your early 20s to your mid 60s, for 40 years, you saw success by spending less than you made and saving the excess, right? If you made $100,000 a year and you had yourself live off of $60,000, you were able to save the difference. And you mentally attributed spending with pain. That's how guys, no one gets to retirement and has an IRA or 401k if they didn't save, right? So at some point they made sacrifices, they spent less than they made, maybe they traveled less than they wanted to, they bought a car that wasn't as nice as they wanted to, but they associated pleasure with saving and pain with spending. We do that for 30 years, 40 years, and it works. We get to 65 years old, we've got $1 million portfolio, our home's paid off, we did it. Well, now comes the hard part. We gotta spend the money. And it's Pavlov's dogs all over again. We have to break 30 or 40 years of internal programming that says spending is bad, saving is good. And in retirement, I'm not saying go blow all your money in the first 5 years. We don't want to run out of money. That's a bad deal. But the goal is not to get to 87 and 88 years old and still have a wish list of things that we wish we would have done. The goal is not to pass away with the most money. The goal is to have a retirement that is worthy of the years of sacrifice it took to get to it. The goal is to have experiences with loved ones, whether it be family or friends or neighbors or former coworkers or whoever it might be, but have experience with those people we care about and have memories that outlive us. It's to be able to spend the time doing the things that we want with the people we care about and enjoy the hard work that got us to that situation. It's not to sit home and twiddle our thumbs afraid to spend, because for 40 years we've been afraid to spend. And one of the biggest challenges facing seniors and retirees when it comes to retirement today is underspending. There is a dramatic underspending problem in this country. And so one of my favorite things to tell someone is, good news, you've got a spending problem. They never heard that before. And I'll say, but I mean, you spend too little. They've definitely never heard that before. I don't want to hear someone say, hey, we're doing fine. That's not what retirement should be about. We shouldn't be doing fine. We should be thriving. We should be traveling if we want to, going out to spend time with kids if we want to. I'll share a quick story of an existing client. I won't share his name, but his grandson plays baseball. I bump into him all the time at the baseball diamonds. My son plays baseball, and so I'll see him at different tournaments and games. And one of the things that I love about this gentleman is that he has made the decision that one of his priorities in retirement is using his money to go to all of his grandson's baseball games. It doesn't matter if it's in St. George or Pocatello, Idaho, or here in Utah County, he is gonna be at those games. And that is a cool mission for his money to fund. Right? Now, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is. Because guess who remembers that grandpa was at every single game? That's the point of money. Could he spend less and travel less? Sure. But that's what he decided was worth his time. And I think it's amazing. We have other clients who have created family funds where they have a guaranteed budget every month or every year, depending on the situation, that funds a family experience. Maybe, like I said, it's a cabin at Bear Lake. Maybe it's a trip to Disneyland. Maybe it's once every few years, grandma and grandpa pay for all the kids and all the grandkids to go to Hawaii or go to Spain or who knows what it might be. But these are the things we want to be spending our money on. And the underspending problem comes from a lack of a plan and the confidence and stability in knowing that you can spend and still be okay. Because let's be real for a minute. The reason why people don't spend money in retirement is not because they necessarily don't want to spend it, but they're afraid. They're afraid of running out of money. They're afraid of not being okay financially down the road. They're afraid of maybe being a burden on their kids because they need assistance. And so the underspending problem stems from a lack of a crystal clear plan that gives them the confidence to do the things they want and the ability to enjoy the things that they want to do the most. So if we're not sure where we're going to pull money from in retirement, if we're not sure how much we can spend, if we're not sure how long it's going to last, I can't fault people for not spending. It makes sense logically to pump the brakes on spending if you're not sure if it's okay to do so. That's the beauty of a plan. It's going to tell us crystal clear how much can we spend, how long will it last, how much might still be left over when we're done. Guys, if you can bounce the last check you write, by all means, have a ball, spend it all, I'd go for it. But I've never seen it happen. I've never seen it to where a client passed away and we looked at their situation and said, oh man, that was good timing because they were gonna run out of money in 3 months. That's never happened. There's always money left over, which is why our firm has become so passionate about really encouraging families to spend money, whether it be on themselves or on their kids, or like most of our clients, on their grandkids, or on travel, or on giving back to the community. But what a true financial plan does is it gives you the ability to spend more, do more, enjoy more, give more, and when you're all done, still leave more. So if you're not crystal clear on where your money will come from in retirement, how long it will last, how much you can or can't spend, that just tells me that you don't have a true written plan that looks at all 5 key pillars of holding up your retirement: taxes, income, investments, healthcare, and legacy planning. If you're not crystal clear on those 5 pillars and you're not spending all of the money you should be spending, let's sit down. Come in, sit down with our team of advisors, go through our Retire Readiness Assessment, and let's find out, should we be spending less? Can we be spending a lot more? Can you travel less? Should you be traveling a lot more? Or my favorite thing, if you're traveling, can we get you to sit up in first class? I had a client once tell me, he said, Nico, I came to the realization, either I can fly first class or my kids will fly first class with my money. And they've flown first class every time ever since. And I love it. It's your money. You work for it. Let's put it to its best use, giving you the confidence you need to enjoy the retirement you've earned. I'm Nico Pesci with Momentum Wealth. Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to sitting down with you.